Welcome everybody to this weekly live. We are here with me, Gull Khan, and just got a notification myself. And I am Gull Khan, your money mindset expert, and I help entrepreneurs to break free from the limiting beliefs, to reverse their money shame, and to blast through the money blocks so that they can live a life of limited abundance. And today we're talking about a companion called fear. So while I wait for people to hop on, I'm going to, hi Sophia, my lovely, how are you? Nice of you to join me. I'm just going to add some comments so that everybody knows how to join ETC. So the clearing for this, which will be a companion called Fair. A clearing on this will be done in ETC Energy Tools and Clearings group. And I'm just going to share this here. So that we have this as well. And sorry, you probably can hear fireworks in the background, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're still getting fireworks even into that because it's been Diwali as well. I think today's something else, so there's quite a few things going on. Anyway, so I'm going to wait for some people to hop on, and while we should wait, while we do that, actually, let's see. Anyway, so I'm going to wait. Okay, so I can share this as well. So I can share this and live now. And I can share it in the group as well. Hopefully we'll get some more people joining us because today's topic is really, really, really important. I hope as many people as can join us as possible. Let's try this again. And let's do it. Actually, no, let's do it. Copy a link and we'll go. So we got some people say, whoever's here, say hello so I know who you are and I know who's joining us so that we can do this. I'm trying to share it in my, not here, where's it gone? Well, that helps. So actually, while I'm sharing this out, if anybody can share this out as well, because I'm not selling anything today, I'm just doing this pure information. And honestly, this is going to be awesome, amazing information. You don't want to miss it. So let's paste here. And then we're done. Say hello, whoever you are, so we know who's joining us. And today we're talking about a companion called Fair. You will love today's topic. Live now. Awesome. Okay, so I've now shared it, and then we can actually start talking about the three things we're going to talk about today. We've got Sophia, and who else have we got? Who else has joined us? I can't see who else has joined us. Okay, let's say hello. I don't know who's joined, my lovelies. Okay, so we're going to get stuck. So, okay, so just say hello so I know who is. Okay, so then maybe that was it. Okay, hi Grace, nice to meet you, join us, my lovely. Okay, awesome. We've got people joining us, okay? Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go live on Instagram too, and that way we can cover as many people as possible. So before I start, if you guys can actually share this video out, I'd really appreciate it because we want to get this message out to as many people as possible. Nothing on sale here. I'm only doing this purely for content only and to help people and serve you guys. That's it. My only my sole aim really. And I don't know how to do. There we are. I've forgotten how to do. There we are, live. Awesome. Okay, awesome, fabulous. So today's topic is called a companion called fear. We will be covering three things today. The first thing I'm going to talk about is how do you recognize your Delilahs and who exactly do I mean by Delilah? Secondly is feed your faith and starve your fear. And thirdly, I'll be talking about be willing to be wrong on your way to be right. Now, these things may sound like, I'm talking nonsense, but honestly, there's a point, there's method to the madness, and there's a point behind everything I'm talking about here. So join me, stay with me, and let's see where we go, okay? This is going to be fantastic. Hi, Hamza, thank you for joining me, and thank you. So I have my notes with me, because I do get straight away. I did have notes last week as well, but I ended up stayed off, and I ended up talking about Freddy Krueger, but hey, we'll go with it, okay? So I'm going to start today's topic with a quote, which I love. I absolutely love this quote. And it reads, our doubts are traitors. Our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we often might win by fearing to attempt. this is by Shakespeare. So it's one of my favorite quotes that I've heard, all on the topic of fear and how we actually don't attempt few things out of the fear that we may fail, or we may not succeed, or we haven't got the ability because doubt takes over, procrastination takes over, and life takes over in general. And I thought was a really good quote to start today's live on, because I think it is really, really fabulous because of it. Okay, so as I said, we're going to cover the 3 things: how to recognize your Delilahs, feed your faith and starve your fear, be willing to be wrong on your way to right. So let's start with the first one. So what do I mean by Delilah? Now, at the outset, the story I'm using for Delilah is from the Old Testament. Okay. Now, I'm going to be very upfront and honest with you guys. I'm a Muslim, and I do practice my faith, but I do respect and I do have knowledge of all of the major faiths. So I know about the Bhagavad Gita, I know about the Old Testament, the New Testament, the stories from the Old Testament, New Testament. I know about Ramayana. I know about obviously the Quran itself because I studied that myself. So I'm familiar with all the religious texts, and I use the stories because I think the stories highlight metaphorically quite well the point we need to get across. And I think New Age science and the new philosophies also sort of go back to these old philosophies, and we can draw real great similitude from them. And that's why I use them in my talks, in my presentations. So this story is actually from the Old Testament. It's a story about Samson. Now, Samson was a guy who was empowered by the gods with great, great strength, and he's actually kind of cocky about it as well. He was like, I've got this strength and so forth. Now, what happened to Samson was he was seduced by a gorgeous lady from the opposite camp, okay, called Delilah. Now, Samson being cocky that he was, he thought he could, he didn't, hi Gabriella. So he thought he didn't have, he could get away with it. He wasn't gonna, fall prey to Delilah. I mean, you think you'd be a bit smart, but apparently he wasn't. Anyway, one day Delilah succeeded in finding out the secret to his strength. And he divulged to her the fact that, he'd shave him and he will lose his strength. Whatever. The point is, he gave away his secrets to Delilah, and Delilah, being Delilah, because she is from the opposite side, did actually get him. She used it against him, through with her people, and he lost his strength. Okay, he's lost his strength, and in the process, they took his eyes out, which is a bit gory actually. They plucked his eyes out, and he was harnessed to a windmill. And he's left grinding grain for the rest of for a long time. There's another moral to the story. I mean, there is another end to the story. There is a bit of a thing because he calls out for faith and help from God, and he gets back, and that's another story. But that's the point of Delilah. So the point of Delilah is, I'm not telling you the story just for the sake of it. I'm using this as a metaphor. Now, for me, I see this story as a metaphor of what Delilah is coming into our lives. Okay. It remains to be seen. So in Delilahs in our life are not normally, it's like it's your destruction. But things or situations don't come as, oh, I'm your destruction, or this is going to happen, or that's going to happen. That's not how usually these things come to us. They're usually disguised in things that we get used to. Okay. So it's not that the obvious thing. It's actually the comfort. So we get stuck in our comfort zone. We get stuck used to certain things. We don't want to move out from that comfort. That becomes a Delilah. Another one is, the old saying, you get comfortable, you get uncomfortable. And now over here, a very famous story which really, really brings this home is, how do you boil a frog? Okay. Not that you ever want to boil a frog unless you're French, but anyway, the point is, how do you boil a French? Sorry, how do you boil a frog? Oh my goodness! Oh, right, okay. So how do you boil a frog? Okay, so if you put a frog in a boiling water, it'll jump out. However, if you put a frog in lukewarm water and turn up the heat slowly, gradually, what you'll find is at every level, the frog will become comfortable and will carry on becoming comfortable. Even though the heat is there too, which is going to kill him, it becomes comfortable being uncomfortable, and therefore you can slowly rise the temperature to the point where it can boil over frog and he will die and he won't jump out. Okay, that's pretty much what happens to us. So we get so comfortable being uncomfortable that it becomes a comfort zone. You've heard the old saying, your dreams are the other end of your comfort zone. The old cliches, but these cliches have a reason. There is a reason for them. Now, Delilah, Delilah doesn't come, didn't come as this disguised as awful screaming, screeching witch. She came as this gorgeous, beautiful lady to Samson. Same way, our circumstances which are presented to us is in a way like, oh, this is very nice, or this is comfortable, including being in uncomfortable relationships. Now, people, hi Aisha. We stay in uncomfortable relationships or uncomfortable jobs, uncomfortable situations because we get comfortable being uncomfortable. And this is the point we're trying to make. What is your Delilah? What is yours? Okay. Fear. What do you need to do? What do you actually need to do to achieve, to go ahead? What do you need to achieve? What do you need to do to achieve your dreams? You need to let go of your fears. Now, fear does normally come up as something that it's going to be, that I'm afraid of this and that. And that's, most people don't even realize they're afraid of something. Most people are actually blaming other things. They have excuses. I'm too busy. I have, too many distractions. I procrastinate a lot. Oh, I don't have this faith. And I don't have this skill, and I don't have that skill. Or I don't know X, and I don't know Y. So you basically have doubt, procrastination, and distraction all coming up. But actually, that is your Delilah. This is your Delilah disguised as all these different things, but actually it's really fair. So your Delilah would be fair, right? But your fear is not coming as fair. It is coming to you in the disguise of all these different things, distraction, and I'm too busy. I have family life. One of my favorite distractions, one of my favorite Delilahs would be, I'm a mom and I don't have the time. I'm a busy mom. Okay, so I am too busy looking after the kids. I have this to do and that to do. When you get in that situation, then when you start using these excuses to not face the actual fear side of it, that is when you're realizing you're underplaying, you're not doing what you need to be doing, you're not actually achieving what you need to be achieving. And that is where you have to recognize, okay, what's going on? There's something going on. Because if you have a dream and you're not living it, then you are most definitely being seduced by your Delilah. It could be anything from your, and this doesn't mean that you actually recognize it, because most of the time you don't recognize it. Most of the time you're thinking, no, you have a genuine excuse. One of my favorite ones, I am generally so busy. I'm too busy doing the school run, between the school activities, between this and that, to not to have the time to be able to go and live my practice. So before I started my practice, I was actually doing a lot of, I was doing a lot of voluntary work, but I didn't build a business around it until I was forced to. So when I separated from my partner, when I was going through a divorce, I was forced out of the situation. I was forced to go into either go back into a job or start my business, and I was actually forced to come out of my comfort zone to be able to earn for my children and myself. So that was when I actually forced, when I was forced to face my Delilah, and which was, I was afraid of showing up. I was afraid of giving up my law, I've given up law practice, but I also want to go back. So to give it up forever and start to complete different career for me was a scary prospect. But I took it on now. Now I realize, okay, that was the excuse that I had. And this is the thing with most people. So what is your, what is your Delilah? What is your, what is your main fear that you're facing, but you're refusing to face it, and you're sugarcoating it with something else. You're sugarcoating it with being too busy. You're sugarcoating it with being, you've got too many distractions. You're sugarcoating by saying, oh, I just suffer from procrastination, or I don't have the money, or I don't have the contacts, and so forth. Is this making sense to you guys? This is really, really powerful stuff, because you need to first, until you actually recognize an issue, how do you find a solution for it? You cannot. So the way to find a solution to something is when you recognize it for what it is. So what are the Delilahs, Delilahs in your life? What would be, so what stands between you and your dream? What's standing between you, being where you are and where you want to be it financially, be it relationship wise, be it health wise, be it whatever. And I'm speaking in terms of, hi Khalid, I'm speaking in terms of, for abundance and money here, but you can actually apply this scenario in any situation, be it when you want to lose weight, when you want to, leave, be in a new relationship, or want to be out of a toxic relationship. I mean, toxic relationship is one of the major ones. Many people remain in toxic, awful relationship because guess what? They get comfortable being uncomfortable, and that's not something I lived by as well. So I got so comfortable being uncomfortable that when I look back, I think, bloody hell, how the hell did I put up with all of that? Literally, I was a frog. Example. In this example, I was the frog who was frying and I wasn't jumping out. Literally, I was the frog who was boiling, but I wasn't jumping out because I got so used to being comfortable, being uncomfortable. You guys understand this? So recognize, what are you taking for granted? Why are you becoming so comfortable being uncomfortable that you are not, you're just clinging on to this uncomfortable, because you know that's a known zone, that's something you know. Whereas the outside is the unknown. For say for the frog can jump out from the pot. It's not like there's not covering there, but the frog is so comfortable being in that uncomfortable zone, it doesn't know what's outside the pot, so it doesn't jump out. Even though by jumping out, it can save his life. Okay? What are you? Where are you when you're boiling in terms of boiling water? Where are you boiling at the moment? But you're refusing to jump out of the pot because you don't know what's outside the pot. Okay, what is it? Because remember, when you go for your dreams, there's a risk of the unknown. There is a risk of the unknown. I'm not going to deny, but that's the risk that, that's where fear comes in. So fear strikes you at the heart, saying, we don't know what's going on. It's better to know. So the old saying, it's better to know the devil at hand than to know the unknown devil. So at least these troubles you're familiar with, you know how to deal with them. What about the unknown? What if they're worse than the one you have at hand? That is where most people are stuck. And if they'd rather have the problem they're used to, rather than going for the dreams and risking something else and risking something which will cause them a lot more trouble than they'll be able to deal with and not be able to handle. That's what the point being here, right? So the first thing you want to know is, what are your Delilahs? What is holding you back? What are you sugarcoating as procrastination, as distraction, as too busy, whatever? Write it down, thinking about it, and really get to, really be honest with yourself about it. Yeah, what are you fearing? What do you want in life, and what are you afraid of? And be truthful and be honest. You're not sharing this with anybody else. You're not sharing here with me. You're welcome to share with me if you want. But if you are doing this with yourself, be honest with yourself. What exactly are you afraid of? First of all, work out what it is that you want to achieve, and then secondly, what are you afraid of? Okay. So second thing, this is something which I absolutely loved, which is feed your faith and starve your fear. Now, I'm going to give this I'm going to use an old story, which was very, very famous, and many of you may be familiar with. It's the old, the Native American story of the boy who comes to the chief, and he says, I had a dream that I have two dogs inside of me, and I really believe it to be true. There's a dog which is white and and is good and everything good, and there's another dog who is dark and evil, and I don't know which one will win. And the chief smiles at this boy quite pleasantly and says, well, whichever dog you feed. And that's the truth for us. So we have both simultaneously at any given point in time. We have fear striking us, and we have faith, equally imbalanced. But depends on which element we fear. So which we feed. If we're feeding our fear most of the time, then our faith diminishes and shrinks. And basically, if you think of it as two animals, as two dogs, then faith, the dog, would starve to death. On the other hand, if you're constantly acknowledging the fact that you have the other dog, but you're not feeding it, you're feeding the faith. So every time your mind goes to think about fear, you consciously diverge your attention, take it away from there and put it back on faith and feed faith instead. What you'll find is your dog, which is of evil thoughts and dark, would eventually and gradually die and starve, whereas the faith would get stronger and more powerful and thereby attract to it more of the same, right? We've all known this, a thought is very, very powerful. When you start thinking about one thing, it leads to another thought, it leads to another thought, it leads to another thought. Now, it works absolutely exactly the same, whether you're thinking positive things or negative things. So start off with the negative thing. If you think of something like, I had a bad day, okay, they'll say, people, you start off with a bad day. So if you get out of the bed the wrong end, or whatever, how do you work out wrong anywhere near? But anyway, if you get out of the bed the wrong end, and apparently, you've had a bad day, you start with a bad day, then it just basically is spiral downwards, because one negative thought attracts another negative thought, attracts another negative thought, attracts another negative thought. And remember, these negative thoughts are attracting these circumstances. So you're attracting all this negative energy towards yourself, and you're spiraling downwards. Now look at the other scenario. Every time you are thinking a positive thought and conscious, sometimes you have to do this positively, because remember, we are programmed to think negatively. The way society normally programs us, we are programmed to think negatively, for God knows why. And even the media feeds us that as well. If you are constantly, consciously feeding yourself and thinking about positive thing about it. Even if, for example, the media comes out, oh, the world's going to turmoil and everything, this war is happening and that's happening and that happening, and you don't pay attention to that. You consciously divert your attention to all the people who are making a conscious effort in the world to do something for humanity. Those people who are really going out there to help animals and humans and children and so forth. You look at all the good in the world. Okay, start with one thought and you'll have another one and you'll have another one. When you're looking for something, they're all saying, if you look for something, you'll find it. So if you look for people being kind to you, you'll find somebody else who smiles and is kind to you, somebody else who's kind but is nice to you. So this awesome momentum builds up and it spirals upwards. So one good thought can lead to many others. And as you're attracting more good thoughts to yourself, guess what's happening? You are feeding your faith and your good dog, the side of you which is good and positive and is attracting to you all the positive energy, and that's the best way around it. Now, if the best way, I'm not saying that you want to come across unpleasant and nasty experiences. Hell, everybody does. Okay, that's part of the experience, so that's perfectly fine. But the idea here is not to let it go, not to let it rule us. Acknowledge it, accept it. If you, by the way, going on the last week's thing, if you try to resist an experience, you try to ignore it and push it under the carpet, it doesn't work. So the idea is to accept whatever experience you have, accept whatever feelings you have, accept whatever's coming your way, and think, okay, fine, fair enough. Okay, that's fine. Let's see, what's the positive thing about it? How can this change? How can this benefit me? How can this benefit somebody else? And if all else fails, if you can't see anything positive in it, that's where faith comes in. So when I can't work out a positive thing in anything, a situation looks so negative, so dire, so horrible that I cannot find a silver lining to it, I revert back to my trusted old saying that this is happening because of divine will. There must be divine reason behind it. I cannot see at this moment in time. I know divine source energy will make this right. There's a reason for it, and I'll trust divine source energy. So I go back to my old thing that I trust that everything happens within divine because of divine reason, because of divine will, and therefore there must be some good in it. Okay, because sometimes I am human too, and we are all human. So at times it's very difficult to find a positive thing in a very negative situation. But if you have that faith, guess what that does? In that moment in time, instead of spiraling downwards, I stopped myself. I went back to my faith, and I couldn't find a good about it, but I went to my faith and okay, I trust divine source energy, and divine source energy will work something out and will make it good and positive. And therefore, even if I can't turn the situation around at that time, I will keep myself neutral, if not positive. And eventually, I know, because I'm a positive person anyway, because I'm trying to keep keeping my energy focused on faith, keeping my energy focused on divine source energy, I will eventually find more situations to be positive about, and go ahead and be positive. Does it make sense, guys? Is this making sense? Give me a thumbs up if it is. Okay, because it's really, really, really something that I really feel really powerful about, because you need to, if you want, there's quite a few cliches now. I mean, to live a positive life, you have to be positive, you have to have a positive mind, but it cannot be more, it's not being cliche, it really is that true. It's so powerful. Hi, Razia, so nice to join us, my lovely. So, excuse me, guys, I do have a cold. So that's very, very important. Another example here is, and I've kept this as an example here. If you, at the end of the day, so now the way to work out if you're which one of your dogs are you feeding? Are you feeding the one which is negative and horrible and evil, or are you feeding the one which is full of love and positivity and has faith? And the way to do this, actually practically, is if you do tally at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, you'd make 2 columns and you tally up all the times that you fed your fear. So all the time you were afraid of something or whatever, and then you write down all the times you were positive. Tally up and see which one have you fed more. Have you been more fearful today, or have you been more positive today? Which one have you been? Which one have you worked with more? What have you been doing? See. Hi, honey. Hi, Razia, lovely. So which one of these 2 have you been feeding? Have you been feeding your fear? Have you been feeding your faith? And that's a great example to work out. Now, I'll give you one more slide before we move on to the last topic, because I'm getting away. It's 8:30 now. But okay, so next one, last example. So the way that the other way this works is, if you think about your mind, and if you use it as your house as a metaphor, so if you had a very unkempt house and you had dirt everywhere and you had bits of food everywhere, sooner or later lowest life forms will start coming in, like rats and insects and whatever will start coming to the house, and start feeding off it, right? It's very gross. It's very gross to think about. However, if you use the same metaphor for your mind and think of it this way, so if you have these really disgusting thoughts and awful thoughts or fearful thoughts, which are very negative and very, very awful, if you have them in your mind and you allow them to mull over and you just let them, brew whatever, and then eventually you will have very negative energy coming to feed off it, right? And guess what that will do? That will attract more negative energy and so forth and so forth. On the other hand, if you keep it clean and you have, dust may come and you obviously have to do regular work and dust it off, but it's much easier to have a more happy and prosperous home when it's nice and kept and tidy. And the same way goes in your mind. If you keep your thoughts very positive, and even if dust settles, so for example, negative thoughts come back, you dust it off, you brush it off, right? So you don't pay attention to it, you dust it off, and you keep your mind clean with positive thoughts and keep your mind and your focus on faith. Guess what will happen? More positive thoughts will come of love and abundance and acceptance and guidance, and more of these similar situations and circumstances will start coming into your life. You will be the one person that everybody turns to because you're so positive, because you'll attract positivity from them also. On the other hand, there's an old thing saying that a like tries side. So if you are very negative, you'll attract very negative people around you. If you are in this positive state, you're constantly feeding your positive side of you, the positive dog, your positive wolf or dog, whatever you call it, then you'll attract other people who are positive, who are coming towards you. Hence the idea, it's your choice. We all have our demons. We all have our angels within us. We all have our negative sides. We all have our positive sides. We all have these two wolves or dogs, whatever you call it. It's our choice. Who do we feed? And most people feed unconsciously, and 99% of the people feed the one who the fear more. So they have little bit of faith, and mostly they're feeding the wolf, which is more powerful, which ends up being fear. On the other hand, if they fed the one with faith more, you find them more positive, they're willing to take more risks, and they're willing to live a better and high vibrational life, and they smile a lot more and enjoy more life more. I'm not saying that without hard work you can't get into it, because obviously you have to do work, but they're willing to take risks because they're willing to have faith. And without faith, you can't get anywhere. Hi, Aziz. All right. Okay, we've got another disgusting person. Okay. I'll block him in a minute. I'll block him after. I'll block him after we go through the life. I must be attracting interesting energy. I'll have to do a clearing on this for myself anyway. It's okay. I can do this. We can do a clearing on this. Anyway. So now, lastly, now, are you be willing to be? The last point is be willing to be wrong on your way to be right. Okay. Now, what do I mean by this? Now, we all this problem that a lot of people have. We don't want to make a choice. We don't want to. Right. Okay. I'm going to take a screenshot of this, and I will report you to Facebook, and you will be blocked. Whoever this idiot is, this kind of language is not acceptable. You will be blocked and you will be reported to Facebook. So if you make any more ridiculous things, I will be going to report you to Facebook. I'm making it very clear. Yeah? Obnoxious people. What can you do? We get these obnoxious idiots all the time. And that's the space of online space, unfortunately. Anyway, I'm not going to let something as silly like that distract me. I'm going to carry on because the information I have is so worthwhile. And so see, that's something else. So people like that can come and distract you, and I can let this person bother me and distract me. But I'm so passionate about this topic because I believe the information is so vital and so important for most of you that idiots like that would not distract me. Instead of that, I'll just ignore it and bless him, thinking, okay, he is an uneducated person who doesn't know what's going on in his life, and he can be dealt with through the proper channels afterwards. For the time being, let me focus on my what I'm telling you about. Okay. So be willing to be wrong on your way to be right. Okay. No, the point is we need to remain flexible. You have to remain flexible, okay? Because sometimes you make a decision. Sometimes you do things which makes you think. Hi, Julia. Thank you for joining us. Can someone please report this person for me before I stop my live? If someone can report him, I'd really appreciate it. I really appreciate the help. Otherwise, I'll report him later anyway. because he's being very disgusting and rude. Okay, so where was I? Willing to be wrong on your way to be right. So the idea behind it is you have to remain flexible in order to allow God to do his divine work. God's work, as you know, they're all saying, you know, God's works in mysterious ways, and this cannot be further from the truth. It really is, because sometimes you think you've taken a detour, sometimes you've gone down a path, you think, oh well, how did I end up here? But it ends up being really, really for your benefit, for your good, and there's a lesson there for you to learn. A lot of the times when we come across idiots or obnoxious people, or we deal with really weird situations, we think, well, you know, how can we, you know, why would God put me through this? I'm a good person. But a lot of the time there's a lesson to be learned. Now there are many examples, and a lot of people say this, in life you things won't work out best for you if at times, if you hadn't been through that example, if you hadn't been through that experience, if you hadn't learned and grown that way, you would not be able to provide the service. So in my personal life, being a lawyer that I am, I wouldn't be able to, you know, be the kind of integral person and be speaking on the public platform, dealing with idiots at times, you know, as the case at the moment, and being able to deal with it in this manner if I didn't have the strength that comes from my legal training, because I'm used to being able to stand in court and be able to speak and articulate in front of a judge. So if I can speak in front of a judge, I can speak in front of an audience. But I'm also able to speak about topics which are controversial, because these are, a lot of people don't want to hear positive things, but a lot of people don't want to be able to deal with it. So my thought was, well, if my life was going to be, you know, public speaker or on law of attraction of the kind of pathway that I've taken in my life, then why did I go down the legal route in the first place? Why did I spend 10 years studying it? Why did I spend all those years doing, you know, going through all the heartache and, you know, oh my God, the hard work and sweat that I put in through to become a barrister and then become a New York attorney also? Why did I go down the path if I was going to go down here? Wouldn't it be easy for me to study this better? But the point is, the skills I've acquired from there, I've applied to over here. So that happens. But also it allowed me to become the kind of person I need to become, the kind of strength of character I need to get from there to be able to apply myself here and be able to deal with, you know, the kind of situations I'm thrown into. I don't get diverted easily. I don't get distracted easily. I deal with it when I need to. But the point is, the main point is, you need to be able to be flexible. And sometimes you make a decision and you think, okay, I was going in this direction, all of a sudden I've changed direction and gone in the other way. Now I'm giving the example of Apollo 11. So if you remember Apollo 11 that we went to, that landed on the moon, it's noted in the records that 90% of the time it was off course. And what happened is, because it's programmed, about the destination was already programmed, it kept the internal, internal programming kept correcting and adjusting the bearings so that it landed on the airplane. It landed on the moon, but 90% of the time it was off course. So that's your life as well. As long as you're willing to take detours and learn the lessons on the way, you're going to get what you need to. So your destiny, or your dream, or the internal, the person inside of you keeps whispering a dream, do this and do that and do this and do that. You have a dream, whatever. That dream is real, okay? That's your destiny. That's your divine guidance given to you. That you need to go this way or that way. You are meant to go in a particular direction. However, the point is that there will be roads or blocks, there will be distractions, there will be detours, and you need to be willing to take those detours, because those must be lessons on the way. I always say this. So for example, imagine this life is as a game and you're playing a video game, because my son loves video games, right? So you're playing the video games, and at times you have to stop the game and you have to go on a particular, challenge or something to score a particular, maybe a shield or something. Same way in our life, when you have to take a detour, you have to be able to, thank you for my heart, I love my house, thank you. You need to take these detours, be able to deal with, you need to get a particular strength, a particular skill set to be able to deal with the situation that will come along in the future. Because remember, your character, who you are, is built on your experiences. And sometimes these detours help us to achieve those experiences, to be able to deal with what we need to that much faster and that much better. A CEO of a company does not become a CEO of a company, but just when it's a startup. When they do a startup, they do if you're doing a startup, they go through tons of experiences, losing business, gaining business, whatever, and being able to, like this idiot, this Aziz guy, this idiot, you've been dealing with these people like that as well. They have to be able to deal with, all the mishaps and all the rubbish that comes on the way, and not let these idiots distract them. They have to be able to deal with them. It's like, okay, fine, you know what? I'll deal with it in a bit. And be able to put it on one side, deal with what they're doing at hand, and build it. And this is what strength of character comes to. And this is why you need to have strength of character. And these detours, which you find yourself on, at times build that character for you. And that is where divine design comes up, because this is what divine design has programmed you to do. So the divine energy knows you're going to get to X, Y, Z destination. It's your destiny. It's where you're meant to be. But you need to have all these detours to be able to get there, and be able to get there very, very quickly and efficiently, and make sure that once you're there, you're able to achieve X, Y, and Z. Okay, but without the training, without these detours, without these lessons, you may not have the strength of character to reach those destinations. Does it make sense? I hope it does, right? All right, people. So wrapping up today's thing is, so if you have fears, and you do, and most people do, if you're not living your dream, you are living by your fear. Whether your fear is disguised as being too busy, or not having the skills, or not having the money, or not having the right support, or whatever excuse you're giving to yourself. If you have a dream and you're not living it, then you are being delusional, and you're being seduced by a Delilah. And that's the first thing. So recognize who your Delilahs are and actually deal with them. Second step, feed your faith and starve your fear. That's the best way to move forward. And lastly, be willing to be wrong. So sometimes make a decision and you think it's wrong. Fine, learn from it, move on. Okay. Sometimes you're going to a particular direction and you find yourself that you end up in the wrong place. Fine. There's no time to make a wrong decision. Just stay in the opposite direction, or wherever you need to go, and just go in that direction. It's perfectly fine. It's allowed. It's perfectly allowed. Okay, so this is something that you have this permission to do. You have the permission to make the wrong mistakes. Wrong choices. Learn from whatever you need to learn. So there might be a necessary detour in your path to achieving what you need to achieve, to be able to achieve what you need to achieve. Does it make sense, guys? I hope it does. I hope you appreciated and enjoyed today's presentation, even though there was a bit of a distraction. Never mind, I ignored it and I moved on. I hope you guys did too, and I hope to join everybody again next week at 8 o'clock UK time. And remember, the clearing for this, a companion call fair, is going to be in the energy tools and clearings or group. So please join me in there if you need to. You can actually go and I've put it in the comments. You can join there. And for those of you thinking, thank you, my heart, I really appreciate it. Thank you for supporting me while I was for a little while taken off track and a bit taken back by someone being rude again. But anyway, we can deal with that later. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for being company. And I will see you all again next week, hopefully with a few distractions. And see you then, guys. Thank you so much, and see you soon. Bye for now.